Your dropshipping supplier is the single most important decision you'll make in this business. More important than your product, more important than your ads, and more important than your store design. Because you can find the best product in the world, but if your supplier takes 3 weeks to ship it, sends the wrong items, or quietly raises your prices the moment you start scaling, your store could be dead within a month. I have watched people burn tens of thousands of dollars on ads driving traffic to a product that their supplier couldn't actually deliver on time. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 tips to find a reliable supplier that you can use to scale your dropshipping business. Suppliers that have the traits that actually matter, how to spot the red flags that scammers hope you ignore, and the fastest way to get affordable factory prices without a sketchy middleman. Okay, let's get into it. Firstly, you have to understand where you are actually buying from. Most beginners go straight to AliExpress, choose the cheapest listing, and then think they're getting the product directly at the lowest possible price. It almost never is the case that you are getting the product from the source here. The person on the other end of that listing is usually a middleman who is getting the product for much cheaper directly from the factory and then reselling it to you with a markup. So you are paying their margin on every single order and you don't even know it. The real factories live on platforms like 1688 and Taobao, and the price gap, trust me, is not small. We are talking about products that cost a few dollars on AliExpress, selling for a fraction of that directly at the source. So rule number 1, a good supplier connects you directly to the factory or the product source rather than a reseller standing in front of it. The second thing that matters is shipping time, and this is what can stop a lot of stores from scaling. The old dropshipping model trained people to accept 30 to 50-day shipping times, but that just simply does not work anymore, and you'll be bleeding customers if you offer those sort of timelines. Customers expect their orders in a reasonable window, and slow shipping is the number 1 reason for refund and chargeback requests. When you are evaluating a supplier, you need a real honest answer on what are the delivery times to your main markets. If they can't get a typical order to your customer within at the most 2 weeks, they are probably going to cost you more in refunds and chargebacks than what they save you in the product cost. The standard you should be aiming for is somewhere between 6 to 12 days globally. That's the difference between a customer who buys again and increases their lifetime value versus a customer who just initiates a refund or chargeback. Okay, thirdly, you need consistency, not just a good first order or sample. A lot of suppliers will send you a perfect sample, and then when it comes to the actual orders they send to customers, it'll be completely different. The product quality drops, the packaging changes, the sizing is off. So before you commit long term, you want to make sure your supplier can provide you consistent sourcing and delivery. We're talking about the same quality product time and time again, not a one-off. Okay, fourth, look at communication and turnaround speed. When a product starts selling, you need to move fast on it. If it takes a supplier 2 weeks to respond to your sourcing request, that's probably not a good sign. You will already lose momentum on the trend, and by the time you get the product out there to customers, it may be months down the line. A strong supplier gets you a sourcing quote within a day or 2, not a week. This is because speed of sourcing is a real competitive advantage, especially when you are testing products that are blowing up right now. Fifth, and this is one that a lot of people completely overlook, check if ordering the product requires an MOQ. An MOQ is a minimum order quantity, and a lot of beginners get stuck when they find a supplier that they think is perfect, but then when it comes to ordering the product, they require a bulk order of at least 1,000 units. This is one of the fastest ways to spend a lot of money up front but get stuck with an unproven, untested product. At the early stages when you're testing the viability of a product, you want to make sure you are able to order 1 unit at a time, not a minimum order requirement. This means you can test 10 products, none of them flop, but 1 scales, and that's your winner. And it's near impossible to run that playbook if you have to order at least 100 units for every product you test. Okay, 6, can they brand your product? Generic, unbranded packaging is what separates you from every other dropshipper on the market to an actual scalable, trusted brand. And importantly, a brand that customers come back to with repeat purchases, increasing their lifetime value. If your supplier can put your logo and branding on the packaging, that can separate you from being like every other dropshipper on the market. And 7th, this one ties everything together. Your supplier needs to be able to integrate directly with your Shopify store. A great price means nothing if every time you have to scale an order, you have to manually go and fulfill it yourself. This gets tiring, and when you get more than 50 orders per day, it ends up being a full-time job to fulfill the orders yourself. You want sourcing, listing, and order fulfillment to directly flow into your store, so the supplier can fulfill the orders for you on your behalf. Now, if you're sitting there thinking finding a supplier that fits all 7 of those requirements is next to impossible, you're not wrong. Doing this manually means juggling factory contacts, agents, spreadsheets, and a lot of guesswork. And this is exactly why on my stores I use TeamDrop, as it's the simplest way to check all of those 7 boxes at once. TeamDrop uses AI to source products directly from 1688 and Taobao at real factory prices, so you're cutting out the middleman completely. Plus, for a product that's not on their site, you can get a sourcing quote back within 48 hours with no minimum order quantity, so you can test each product one at a time before committing long term. TeamDrop also handles brand packaging, so your product can actually look like your brand when it arrives with the customer, and it lists the product to your Shopify store in one click, so no need to do it manually yourself. And the best part, once an order comes in, it automatically syncs the order number to the correct customer and fulfills the product for you, so you're not placing every single order by hand manually. On top of that, TeamDrop is transparent with the delivery times to different markets, with most of the major markets like the USA and UK delivering within 6 to 12 days. So instead of gambling on a random AliExpress listing and hoping the seller is legit, you're sourcing straight from the factory with everything connected for you from day one. And the best part, TeamDrop is absolutely free to sign up to. I'll link it down below in the description. I've been using it for all my Shopify stores and recommend it to a bunch of friends and clients. It's rated excellent on Trustpilot, so you know it's a reputable supplier. So whether you choose to use TeamDrop or do it yourself manually, those are the 7 checks you need to evaluate the right supplier. Who are you really buying from? How fast do they ship? Is the quality consistent? Are they attentive and respond quickly? Do they force a minimum order quantity? Do they brand your products? And how easily do they integrate with your store and orders? Get the supplier right and almost every other problem in the dropshipping journey becomes far easier. But get it wrong and you'll be in for a tough ride with your dropshipping business. If this helped you out, subscribe. We're dropping weekly videos on how to become an elite level dropshipper in 2026. And if you want to see how to start dropshipping as a beginner, check out the video right beside me as I detail a full startup guide. I'll see you there.